Being a parent is a lot of work, starting from infancy, teens, and adulthood. A parent's job is never fully done. Having to reprioritize your life for the care of a child can often be stressful, but yet rewarding. But in today's case, having children got in the way of a mother pursuing her goal to get the man of her dreams, resulting in an unthinkable crime. So before we dive into today's story, I post videos about true crime, paranormal, and cryptids. So if you're into that type of thing, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon for all future notifications. All right, so let's jump right in. Diane Downs seemed to have a happy life. She had 3 children and married to her high school sweetheart. However, that happy life took a turn to the dark side when her husband Steve Downs divorced her in 1980, convinced that their youngest son was not his. She sought temporary relief in a new partner, who eventually left her because of her children, leading Diane to do the unthinkable. On the evening of May 19, 1983, Diane Downs drove up to the ER at the McKenzie Willamette Hospital in Springfield, Oregon, frantically asking for help, stating that her children had been shot. The hospital staff rushed out to her car and immediately noticed the interior of the car was covered in blood, and within it, 3 children appeared to have been shot. They were later identified as 7-year-old Cheryl, 3-year-old Danny, and 8-year-old Christy Downs. Diane herself had been shot in her left forearm. During this time, she made a number of statements that both police and hospital workers considered suspicious. She claimed that she was carjacked in a rural road near Springfield by a strange man who shot her and the children. Police asked Diane to take them to the area where the incident occurred, and when they returned to the hospital, Diane was informed that her daughter Cheryl had died. Her demeanor astounded the hospital staff, who would imagine her bursting into tears. But on the contrary, she was cool, calm, and collective. When told that Danny had a chance to survive, she answered most puzzled, stating, "You mean the bullet didn't hit his heart? Oh my goodness." Fortunately, doctors and staff were able to save Danny and Christy's life. Going further into her statement, Diane claimed that she was on a drive home from a friend's house. She decided to take the scenic route home. All the kids were asleep and it was past 9 p.m. Diane claimed during this drive home around 10 p.m., she saw a strange man standing in the side of the road flagging her down. She said she pulled over and got out to talk to the man. She described the man as a bushy-haired stranger. When she got out to talk to this man, he immediately demanded her to give him her car keys. Diane claimed that she refused and they got into a physical altercation that resulted in him shooting her on the left arm. He then opened up the driver's side door and shot all 3 of her children. Diane said that she pretended to throw her keys in the bush, and when the man went to go look for them, she jumped back in her car and sped off to the nearest hospital. Suspicions heightened when Diane went to visit her kids at the hospital and immediately phoned a gentleman by the name of Robert Knickerbocker, a married man and former co-worker in Arizona with whom she had an affair with in the past. The forensic evidence did not match her story. There was no blood splatter on the driver's side of the car, nor was there any gunpowder residue on the driver's side door or the interior of the door panel. Robert had also reported to the police that Diane had stalked him, and she was willing to kill his wife if that meant to be, so she could have him for herself. He stated that he was relieved when she had left Oregon and that he was able to reconcile with his wife. Upon investigation, Diane did not disclose to police that she owned a .22 caliber handgun, but both Diane's ex-husband Steve and Robert informed authorities that she did. Investigators later discovered that she had bought the gun in Arizona. While they were not able to find the weapon, they found unfired casings in her home with extractor markings from the murder weapon. Most damaging, witnesses saw her car being driven slowly toward the hospital, at an estimated 5 to 7 miles per hour, contradicting her claim that she drove to the hospital at high speed after the shooting. Based on this and additional evidence, Diane was arrested on February the 28th, 1984, 9 months after the shooting, and was charged with 1 count of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder and criminal assault. Prosecutors argued that Diane shot her children to be free of them, so she could continue her affair with Robert, as she claimed that he'd let it be known that he did not want children in his life. Much of the case against her rested on the testimony of her surviving daughter, Christy, who once she fully recovered had the ability to speak. Christy described how her mother shot all 3 children while parked on the side of the road and then shot herself in the arm. Diane was convicted of all 3 charges on June the 17th, 1984, and was sentenced to life in prison plus 50 years. She was required to serve 25 years before being considered for parole. Most of Diane's sentence is to be served consecutively. The judge made it clear that he did not intend for Diane ever to be free again. Diane's 2 surviving children eventually went to live with the lead prosecutor on the case, Fred Hughey. He and his wife, Joanne, adopted them in 1986. So what do you think? Was justice served? Personally, I think that she should be put to death. Someone like that should not be around or even have kids. But that's my thoughts. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Now, if you're looking for more true crime content, click on one of these 2 videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time.